Prabhu came to Advaita, swam to Advaitacharya's place, and he said, you called me down, you called me to this world for what? And now you're preaching this way. And he started slapping him. And Advaitacharya's wife, Sita Thakurani, she said, don't beat that old man. And Advaitacharya was ecstatic. He said, where's all the respect that you were showing me? Today I have defeated you, my Lord. So this is a mood, to be in the favor of our acharyas also means to receive some correction from them. And I can say that, that was certainly the mercy of Srila Govinda Maharaj. That sometimes, he would have his way of saying things. And he told us one time, he says, I am like Lord Jagannath. I have no arms and I have no legs, but I have eyes and I see everything. So he was saying, by having no arms and legs, he's saying many times, I see something wrong, but I don't correct it. Prabhupada also told me, I over and over again told the brahmacharis to clean the ashram, and he said they never did it. And so I felt like I would make some offense by continuously tell them to do that. So I stopped correcting them on that on that account. But he said whenever somebody would visit, I would have to say something like, you see, they're so busy with preaching that they don't even have time to clean their ashram. So, to be an acharya, you have to be very tolerant and you have to be very loving. And that is also part of how he was able to correct us and how he was able to guide us. And he gave us a standard. When he installed the deities here, he was very much happy with the deities, and then he said to us, of course, if I knew how much you owed to the bank, I might not have installed them. Because in India they don't have these 30-year mortgages or anything. But I will say now, while we're here at the Samadhi in the presence of Srila Govinda Maharaj, that we're also very happy to announce that our mortgage has been completely paid off. Because indeed in India, they understand that the property belongs to the deities. So, who are our deities here? Shri Shri Guru, Gauranga, Gandharvika Giridhari Jug, and Giriraj Govardhan, deity we also have on the altars, deity of Srila Prabhupada is also on the altar, Ramai's deity. So they are the owners of our property. Gurudev and the Acharyas, and Mahaprabhu, Gauranga Sundar, Radharani, Gandharvika, Krishna, Giridhari. Govinda Maharaj said this property reminded him of Govardhan, and we saw how he would be here, and he would like to see the deer that came down from the mountain, from the hills, And we have everything here. I mean, we even one time had a mountain lion pass through here. I didn't believe it, but then they even told me there was a mountain lion down at the 41st Avenue Mall.
Right.
Yes, but he visited us on the way down there.
On the way to the mall.
On the way to the mall. I don't know what he was. I don't know what he was looking for. What he was interested in purchasing. But But a very, very beautiful property. Now we have everything here. I mean, I can't think of a more perfect property than this. Of course, we know divine. There's Navadip, there's Mayapur, there's Vrindavan, there's Puri, there's Govardhan, and all that. But they told to Mahaprabhu when he wanted to go to Vrindavan, and he somehow or other, by a trick of Nityananda Prabhu, wound up going through Bengal into the Ganga, thinking it was the Jamuna, and then Advaita Acharya came. It was all that trick was arranged by Nityananda Prabhu, but Advaita Acharya came on a boat, and Mahaprabhu said, Advaita, what are you doing here in Vrindavan? Because Mahaprabhu thought he was in Vrindavan. And Advaita Acharya said, this must be some kind of a joke. Wherever you are, that is Vrindavan. So we feel wherever the Lord is, wherever Srila Govinda Maharaj is, and all our acharyas, that will always be Navadip and Sri Vrindavan, everything. Govinda Maharaj said this reminded him of Govardhan. And when we go to Mayapur, we visited the temple of the Chaitanya Mat. And there is Shishi Guru Gauranga Gandharvika Giridhari, the main deities there in Mayapur. And Srila Govinda Maharaj said our deities are non-different from them. So I want to express my appreciation for all the devotees here who have worked very hard, to provide so many facilities here. For instance, Hashapriya is working the last 2, 3, 4 days here at the Samadhi, and I'll say, although I don't want to be offensive, but I'll say he's getting to be an old man.
I agree.
At least he has gray hair now.
Somewhat middle-aged.
All right, a little older than middle-aged. But he's working here, and he had Hridai Govinda working here. And after the first or second day, I went and woke up Hridai Govinda, and he said, "Oh, Maharaj, please." He says, "I'm feeling pain everywhere on my body."
Felt like I'd been in the gym for 3 days straight.
Yeah, the complete workout. So, there are a lot of devotees that are unseen, or as they would say, unknown and unknowable. They're cooking, they're doing the deity worship. Ramai, he was, for a while, he was invalid or invalid, He was invalid and invalid and in difficult shape. And so many devotees, not all with the consent of Ramai, because has his own, chauvinistic way of saying things. But many persons helped on the altar. We had many devotees volunteer to go on the altar, and I can say while they were on the altar, we had some very special 45-minute artis. where you could have, you could sing Hare Krishna many, many times. Right? So, all the devotees cooking, Sureshri, she's been through, I don't know how many difficulties with it. Her health is not good. She's gone through treatments. I'm not going to say all her maladies, but, she works very, very hard. She works hard as anybody, and other persons. Now Sanatani's in the kitchen. I don't know if they're hearing this. I'm buttering them up, but I don't know if they're hearing it. They're listening. Okay. Yeah, with the Sureshri, that's the right word, buttering them up. But, we're very happy. I'm very happy to be surrounded by so many persons. I told Srila Prabhupada that I wanted to take sannyas because I can't work with my god brothers. But, but one has to, Govinda Maharaj preaches humility, tolerance, and offering respect to others. So one has to be able to correct a fault within oneself, not correct a fault in others. So that's really part of our philosophy. So, here I am, here I am working with so many god brothers, and, as the McDonald's saying goes, I'm loving it. It is really inspiring. It is really inspiring to me. It's inspiring to me that I feel we have the biggest community of Prabhupada disciples practically anywhere. I don't know where they have more disciples of Prabhupada in their community than here. Do you know?
Prabhupada disciples who are enthused to serve Guru Gauranga.
Yeah, or who are in the congregation also. Yeah, I feel we have a big sampling of Prabhupada disciples here, and I'm happy for that, because all these persons took shelter of Srila Bhakti Rakha Sridhar Goswami Maharaj and Srila Sridhar Maharaj. And I feel through them we've got the real line of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. That's what they came to give. And they also, I feel that also Govinda Maharaj, he said that he saw Srila Prabhupada as his Siksha Guru, and he said he heard Bhagavad Gita from Srila Prabhupada. Now we've been working to have books online here, and we now have Bhagavad Gita, very beautiful edition. And we want all these books to be available. For me, this is a real inspiration. We always learned book distribution from Srila Prabhupada, and many of our devotees here thrived on book distribution. And now we have opportunity to be able to have, it's just a question of how quickly we can get the books available, but they can all be in print. So I'm not going to say anything more, but I'm really thinking that today is the divine disappearance of Srila Govinda Maharaj. I don't feel that this is a sad day. In one sense, it is sad because Srila Govinda Maharaj has not with us, in terms of our being able to see him. But as I've said, I personally always will feel Srila Govinda Maharaj's presence. I also always try, and with Srila Govinda Maharaj, I will always feel Srila Guru Maharaj, Srila Sridhar Maharaj's presence, because I can't think of Govinda Maharaj without thinking of Srila Sridhar Maharaj. And I can say honestly, there's not one day of my life that many times not one day of my life that I will forget Srila Prabhupada. I will always remember him. I will always be with him. So this is my feeling, and I feel that all this was possible through the mercy of Srila Govinda Maharaj. If he had not extended his shelter to us, none of us, I don't know where we would be. I don't know what we would be doing, but, when I went to Srila Sridhar Maharaj's mandir, I told to Tamal Krishna Maharaj, I said, I am feeling that Srila Sridhar Maharaj, he is my last hope. I was feeling that way because I wanted a connection with, the divine presence of the Vaishnava, the Vaishnavacharya. And I found that. But when I went with Srila Sridhar Maharaj, immediately I was placed under the shelter of Srila Govinda Maharaj. And that shelter continued for many, many years. I don't know, how many years, 23, 24 years, and many of our community longer with Srila Govinda Maharaj. But we never felt for lack of shelter. We always felt sheltered. So now I'm happy that we're all here glorifying Srila Govinda Maharaj on his disappearance day, and we can be here at this Samadhi Mandir, and I feel this was as I said, a community endeavor. Everybody wanted this, and everybody worked to make this Samadhi possible. Jai Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai.
So as Sripad Janardhan Maharaj was saying, we're celebrating the paying off of the mortgage. We purchased the Seva Ashram on Radhastami Day, Sri Radhastami Day, 1993. At that time, we signed a 30-year mortgage, which we all thought, oh, that's like lifetimes.
Yeah. I thought I'll be dead and gone.
But we paid a little extra every year, and then we received a generous donation from Yudamanyu Prabhu, Seva Vikram's estate, after he left us. And so then we paid off the mortgage 5 years early.
Right around
on Gaur Purnima this year.
Gaur Purnima we paid.
Yeah. So Srila Govinda Maharaj chose this property on one of his first world tours early in 1993. And most of the money for the down payment was raised by a group of devotees who were collecting under Yudamanyu Prabhu's guidance, Sureshwari and so many devotees, Kalindi. I'm not going to name because I know I'm going to forget somebody.
Kalindi, what was Bimala,
Lalita.
Rajamohini also, Janaki, Sudevika. You said that. Sudevika.
So Yudamanyu Prabhu organized the collections to raise the money for the down payment. But it wasn't quite enough. And by the mercy of Marie Palmer, Jivana's mother, she also lent us some money. And then when we reported back to Govinda Maharaj, he was thinking, oh, you're borrowing money from this person, from that person. And then Govinda Maharaj himself gave us $10,000 towards the purchase of this property. And of course, we all heard Govinda Maharaj's desire that we pay off the debt as soon as possible. But like Janardhan Maharaj told the story of Prabhupada, after a while, he stopped saying it, kept saying it. We didn't do it. But now, after 25 years, finally, we've been able to fulfill that instruction of Govinda Maharaj. And of course, he spent so much time here. He went on over 23 different world tours around the world, different places. And during those tours, 10 of them were here to Soquel, San Jose, Santa Cruz. And the last time that he was physically present was in 2007, November. He came here for a month. But the time before that, he was here for 6 months. That was in 2004 and 2005. Spent 6 months. So, Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, he inaugurated Sriman Mahaprabhu's Sankirtan movement all over the world, traveled extensively to every continent, preaching Krishna consciousness. And so we saw that Govinda Maharaj, he also had that similar mood and that dedication. And he gave spiritual nourishment to tens of thousands of devotees all over the world. Really, so many devotees. Disciples of Prabhupada, disciples of Guru Maharaj, his own disciples, newcomers. They all received nourishment by Govinda Maharaj's mercy. And so sometimes we've heard that the Vaishnava is called Paraduka Dukhi, that he's unhappy to see others unhappy. He's not really concerned about his own troubles, his own personal comfort, but he's concerned to relieve the suffering of those that are around him. And so Govinda Maharaj, by his traveling around the world, that's what he did. He was not concerned for his own comfort, but trying to help relieve us of our suffering from our material consciousness. So, that was very difficult for traveling. Govinda Maharaj was born in 1929. So when he did his first world tour in 1992, he was 63 years old. And that was the first tour. There was 23 tours after that.
Wait. He did the first one in 1992.
92.
And he was it 63 or 53? 1929.
Oh, someone get your calculator out.
1930 to 1963. 63.
So I wanted to read a little something about Govinda Maharaj's first world tour. This was a letter that Mohanananda Prabhu wrote. Mohanananda Prabhu and Sagar Maharaj, they were the organizers of the first tours of Govinda Maharaj coming out of India. And so he wrote this on Gaur Purnim in March 1992. Dear devotees and friends, on behalf of the tour organizing committee, please again accept my humble obeisances. All glories to our dearmost Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Maharaj, Srila Guru Maharaj, and all our Sri Guru Varga. Loud and clear to all you good devotees around the world, the message is that Srila Maharaj, that's what they called Govinda Maharaj at the time, Srila Maharaj, that Srila Maharaj is confirmed and coming on this, the first of his worldwide preaching tours. If there was any doubt in your mind, you can leave it all behind. Instead, you have the chance to help with the preparations for his all-auspicious visit to your side of the world. So that was the beginning of Govinda Maharaj's tours. And on that first tour, he went to Malaysia, Australia, Hawaii, California, Guadalajara, right, Maharaj? Mexico?
Yeah, Guadalajara.
Venezuela, Miami, and then back to Navadvip Dham, and London.
Was that at Lao Nelson?
Excuse me?
The first, it was? Okay.
That was when he
Jumped off
the stage.
Right. So, I mean, his world tours were exhausting. They were not, a simple thing. Going to multiple countries, and sometimes he would arrive at his destination late at night, and the next morning he would be up early to meet with all the devotees, early, like 2:30 in the morning. We'd be packed into his room here, the living room, to meet with him. And, if he ever suffered from jet lag, you could never tell, because he never slowed down. It was just unbelievable. I mean, so that was the first tour. Then, he had all these different tours, and one of them
Didn't he say, he said something like, I hate the word relaxation or something?
I hate the word relaxation.
Yeah.
So this was his 16th world tour in the year 2000. So I just want to give you an idea of how much he traveled and how difficult and how many places. So we went from Calcutta to Moscow, Moscow to St. Petersburg, back to Moscow, then to Amsterdam, then to Milan, then to Zurich, then to London, back to Moscow, and then back to Calcutta. That was the 16th world tour. And then he was back in India for 1 month and left on his 17th world tour. Went to Singapore, and then Honolulu, and then in the islands, the Hawaiian Islands, back here to San Jose, Mexico, Caracas, Delhi, Calcutta, on and on. And this was in the year 2000. I don't know how old he was, but I mean, these are exhausting trips that he took for our benefit, to give us some nourishment in our Krishna consciousness.
Speaking of Mexico, there's Madhu Chanda.
Madhu Chanda.
She is our leader in Veracruz. She has come here today.
And then even up to a few months before his departure, he was also speaking of going on another world tour. We got, word, oh, Maharaj, Govinda Maharaj may be coming to Sokel, get ready. So he was talking Sokel, Russia. So that was his, he gave his life to help us in our Krishna consciousness. So much austerity. Of course, then after his departure, the devotees here in Sokel, they united to build this Pushpa Samadhi in his honor. Janardhan Maharaj was saying that Govinda Maharaj had given us instructions as to the location. And he said that he wanted to, after his departure, he wanted to come here and sit in Samadhi under that tree that the children played on. So there's a board up on that tree, that oak tree there, and Govinda Maharaj could see that tree from the window in his door in his room, and he could see the children up here playing, and he wanted to come up here, sit in Samadhi underneath that tree. And he also, on previous occasions, had talked to us about building some platform in the trees, in the what we call the forest, they would call the jungle, where the devotees could gather and have kirtan and harikatha. And so then this Pushpa Samadhi also manifested that desire of Govinda Maharaj, a beautiful place for the devotees to gather. And then, as Maharaj was saying, he brought back flowers from Govinda Maharaj's departure, and we put those flowers inside this Samadhi Mandir. And the
Cloth, too.
The cloth, yeah, and that special box. Remember the special box, Maharaj? And then we had some photograph of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur's Pushpa Samadhi at Sri Radha Damodar Temple in Vrindavan. And from that photograph, we came up with this design, which is not the same, but it was based on that. And then I had drawn this sketch. And I'm not an artist in any way. I'm an accountant. I like numbers. I don't like drawing. But I had to draw some sketch to give to Bahulavan to give him some idea. It was really like a pencil sketch, it's like stick figures and things like that. But from that sketch and that picture of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur's Samadhi, then Bahulavan, some vision came to him. And it was from his master craftsmanship and, of course, help from above that this Samadhi manifested. And all the community, devotees in the community, they worked tirelessly for over 4 months. It took us 4 months to build the samadhi. Radhi and Brinda out there mixing cement. Of course, losing control of the tractor going down the hill.
What about the tractor?
Radhi lost control of the tractor driving down the driveway. The devotees are pulling the kids out of the way so they're not getting run over by the tractor. And then, of course, when we're building the samadhi, so many devotees here, and I'll never forget Ramachandra Prabhu. These arches here are made out of cement. They're very heavy, and we had to lift them up put them in place, and we couldn't figure out a jack, this, that. Finally, he just put it on his shoulders and stood up and pushed it up there and said, "Okay, it's here."
Instantly regretted doing it because it took way too long.
And he had that look on his face like, all right, a smile like I'm happy I did it, but hurry up and get me out of here. This is heavy. But there was no hired people to do this work. This was all done by the devotees. Really, we're eternally grateful to Bhagavan Prabhu for his master ability to take some rough idea that we had and turn it into this beautiful offering. And it was then, and it continues to be, an offering of love to Srila Govinda Maharaj from all the devotees in our community. Jai Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai.
What was the special box?
The box that was put in.
A box that Janardhan Maharaj had given Sharananga years ago for something, and then so yeah, a special. Yeah, he forgot all about it, and then that day it appeared again.
I haven't used it for anything that has to do the perfect size, and so we use that. It's one of those birch carved boxes.
You say something briefly?
Hare Krishna. We have, each of us, many personal, you could say anecdotal stories of our experiences with Srila Govinda Maharaj, and they remain internally within us. And they're beautiful, and they captivate our hearts, and they keep us connected to Krishna. It is so vitally important that we have connection with the higher Vaishnava. All of the songs practically in the songbook are talking about connection with the higher Vaishnava. And the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is saying, Tadvidi pranipatena pariprashnena seva. Connection with the pure devotees of the Lord, those who have been blessed by Krishna, they have the connection to give you Krishna. So we are so blessed to have had that opportunity, sometimes with one, sometimes with two, sometimes with three, or maybe even four different Vaishnavas in different lines. Not everyone here is coming from this line, but it is vitally important to retain that connection. And it's important because we have to cultivate humility. We should never, ever, ever, ever be envious of the higher Vaishnava like that. Everyone is feeling themselves to be at the lotus feet. Even Bhakti Pramod Puri Maharaj, I think it was his 100th birthday, he was sitting at the feet, Devamaya was telling me, sitting at the feet of the Murti of his Gurudev, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. And he is saying, we are simply receiving prasadam from our Guru Maharaj. So we want to feel like that all the time. that we are always servant of the servant of the servant of the Vaishnavas. Srila Govinda Maharaj, he personally was very attached to Srila Sridhar Maharaj. Srila Prabhupada invited him to come to the West to join him in preaching Krishna consciousness in the West. But he felt, no, I have to take care of Guru Maharaj. That is my duty. And when some of the bhaktas from the West who came from Srila Prabhupada's camp came to take shelter of Srila Sridhar Maharaj, I am understanding that Srila Sridhar Maharaj was feeling, I'm very old. I can't give shelter to these younger devotees. It may not last very long. If I give them shelter, who will take care of them after I go? And it was Srila Govinda Maharaj said, I will take care of them. And that is why we have the manifestation of the Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat and this preaching line outside of India, because of Srila Govinda Maharaj's duty and his commitment to help people outside of India. And he felt that all these Westerners, they already know the philosophy. So there was something besides philosophy that was gnawing at their hearts. And so he took it that this shloka from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Chanadapi Suni Chena, as Janardana Maharaj again recited, that what is necessary is not necessarily big education, learning, philosopher. Jnana Shunya Bhakti is the modality in the spiritual world where we desire to serve Krishna. So this message that he gave us is appropriate for every single person. For every single person. Now we have the same message that our Guru Maharaj, Srila Prabhupada, gave us when we were young people, in our teens and 20s, and a few in their 30s maybe. Srila Prabhupada said, I am old. I may leave at any moment, as we have had some of our God brothers and God sisters in this community leave. They have departed. He said, but you must take seriously your Krishna consciousness. So those of you who are young, just like Prahlad Maharaj would say to his schoolmates when he was 5, 6 years old, don't wait. You have no time to put this off. In fact, the more you put it off, the more Maya Jala, this network of Maya, it will bind you more and more and more. You will have more memories, more attachments, and frankly, more misery. If you take to Krishna consciousness and you chant the holy name, it is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's will, and it is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is none other than Sri Krishna himself, that the dust accumulated on the conditioned soul's consciousness will be brushed away. And as it is brushed away, and Krishna will rise within your heart. And don't think that it's something imaginary. It's not. But it will come by His grace, by causeless mercy. It will come from Krishna's side. We may be able to get little Brahmabhuta realization, self-realization. That's very easy because we are already spirit soul. All we have to do there is to become frustrated with material lording over, and Brahmabhuta you can experience. But to go to the higher plane of realization, Vijnana, that is coming only from Krishna. And that Krishna is present in His holy name. So you have the beautiful opportunity of associating with each other. Now, third generation. Just like there are so many children here, newborns even. We have a grandson also, that he is like third generation now. of Western Vaishnavas. And they also are coming to Krishna consciousness. So that you, teenagers and young men and women, you will have to be the guides and the teachers and the example for those who are coming up. That is a big responsibility. Why is it a big responsibility and why is it a big joy? Because in the Bhagavad Gita, after Krishna says, you surrender everything, you become my devotee, I take care of all your sins, don't worry. And then 18, chapter 68th verse, 69th verse, Krishna says, for one who will teach this science to the bhaktas, not out in the community necessarily, but to the bhaktas, to you, your children, and those who are coming to take shelter here. Krishna says, it has to be infallible if Krishna says it. He says that there is no one more dear to me in this world, nor will there ever be. And such soul is guaranteed to go back to Godhead. So here is your easy formula for becoming dear to Krishna. It is given to us directly by Srila Govinda Maharaj and the line of Acharyas. It is given to us by our associates, Janardana Maharaj, Sarva Bhavana, so many devotees who are trying to teach Krishna consciousness here. I saw, walking down the street in downtown Santa Cruz a few years ago, when Sarva Bhavana Prabhu was doing his Bhagavad Gita class at the Veterans Center.
Veterans Hall.
Yeah, I saw one homeless man, I mean clearly homeless man, sitting on one of those planters on Pacific Avenue near O'Neill's. And he had Guru Maharaj's Bhagavad Gita. And I did a double take. And he's sitting and reading it intently. I mean seriously reading it, studying it. And I said, where did you get this beautiful book? He said, oh, I attend Sarva Bhavana's class. I was stoked. Amazing. But this is what it is. So if you combinedly get together, Sankirtan together is much stronger than Sankirtan alone. And if you get together and you take this up, Krishna consciousness, in this line, it is Raga Bhakti. It is coming spontaneously. It is coming spontaneously. Krishna will inspire you from within if you have your antennae out, as Srila Govinda Maharaj would say. It is coming from within your heart. You see? You don't have to be told like a child, do this, do that, do this, do that. It is coming spontaneously. So take that opportunity to become spontaneously engaged together in Krishna consciousness. And apart from Janmane, Janmanishware, birth after birth, go back to Godhead after this lifetime. Hare Krishna.
Where is Sarvabhauma? Fourth generation.
Four now?
Yeah, Sureshwari is a great grandmother.
Oh my God.
Omagyanatimirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chaksurmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. I just wanted to recount one of Srila Gurudev's pastimes, which I got to take part in to a limited extent. When Srila Govinda Maharaj was here in 2004, and he came back from Mexico, and he had some severe health issues, and he got to the to his house, and he was in a wheelchair, and I saw a new Gurudev in India, and he was always so active, and every day he would walk around the mat and see everything, and he liked to go out and see everything and how everything was going. He liked to see who was coming and going, and I could tell that he really hated being in that wheelchair. I felt bad just watching him
because I knew he really didn't like it. And then I knew that when he was younger, he wanted a motorcycle, and Guru Maharaj wouldn't let him have one. And then I knew he couldn't move around on his own so well. And at the same time, I was doing some work at one place, and they had all these little mobility scooters, for people who are a bit disabled. And I was looking at it, and I was thinking, well, it's not a wheelchair, and it's not a motorcycle, but I'd like to ride it. And I drove it around the store and stuff, and it was fun. And so I thought, So anyway, somehow or another, I arranged to rent one, and brought it. And Srila Gurudev, he was quite happy with it. And then day after day, he would come down in the morning, he would come down from his room and get on his scooter and drive around, and there'd invariably be a group of devotees, at least 10 or 15, and they'd be walking with him, and he'd be driving, and he would go up the hill and go up this.
He went to the top of the hill too.
He went to the top of the hill one day, and then he started, playing with the devotees. He would speed up, and they would run behind him, and then he would stop and turn around, and so many things. And anyway, it just, can I say, that pastime and seeing Gurudev happy with the devotees and getting to, drive around this beautiful property. Anyway, I find that memory very, very relishable. So I think that Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai.
She was recruited to actually get one of these motorized chairs, I think back to him to India or something like that. And it costs a lot of money to fly that thing just by itself. But if you're a handicapped person, then you can ride it with no charge onto the plane.
Right.
And so Srila was in charge of bringing this scooter. So she drives in the airport and gets on the plane. And then on the way back, she said it was the same people, and she was walking, stink-eyeing her because of the A+ treatment she received on the way. And then on the way back, we see you walking.
Got cured.
So, are you going to do arti now?
I'm going to put the offering on now.
Okay.
It's a big offering, so arti can be like a half an hour or so.
What?
You want to keep going?
Well, the thing is, we're not. You're going to do the offering, and we'll do the. You're going to do the offering, and we'll offer by singing kirtan, because I don't think we're not going to sing Bhaja Bhakata now. It's a little late for Krishna to be going to the fields and everything. So, as soon as you put the offering on, then we'll have arti to Srila Govinda Maharaj. Jai Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj.
Hey, Bharat, did he get water? Chaitanya, ask him, does he need some water? Did you get some water? Okay.
What about Brajanath?
Huh?
Brajanath?
Is that everything?
Aaron. Brajanath, do you have water?
Oh, right.
Huh? Okay, shall we start our tea now? Yeah. Yeah. Madhujanda, ¿tú quieres hablar algo? De Srila Govinda Maharaj. Podemos traducir. ¿Ah? ¿Qué?
She wants to sit there. Do you want me to bring him? Oh, you got the mic.
I can translate, but I'm hard of hearing, and unless it's loud, I won't be able to make it out. Yo puedo traducir, pero el problema es que soy medio sordo, entonces si ella no habla muy fuerte.
Sí, Maharaj, si usted traduce.
Okay, pero...
Sí, pues muy buenas noches a todos, mis dandavats, pranams a todos. Estoy muy feliz de estar aquí.
She's offering her, wishing everyone a nice evening, and then she's offering her dandavats to everyone.
La última vez que estuve aquí fue hace 15 años.
The last time I was here was 15 years ago.
Precisamente para venir a ver a Sri Gurudev, Srila Govinda Maharaj. Precisamente para verlo a él, a Srila
She
Govinda
was here
Maharaj.
15 years ago to be with Srila Govinda Maharaj.
Permaneció con ustedes varios meses.
I stayed with all of you for several months.
Y quisimos venir a verlo.
And I desired to come and see you.
Y desde un principio, Sri Gurudev nos ha unido a todos a través del afecto.
And from the very beginning, Srila Govinda Maharaj united us all by his affection.
Creo que la unión con todos ustedes y esta miserable persona ha sido por afecto.
Everything, all the union between the devotees has been through the affection of Govinda Maharaj.
Aunque no hemos tenido mucha comunicación ni física, pero el afecto, yo recuerdo a ustedes, los veo a ustedes, pienso en ustedes todo el tiempo, veo sus fotos y lo único que hacen es recordar en mi corazón a Sri Gurudev.
Okay. She says, I haven't always had so much physical contact with all of you, but I always remember all of you. I always see you in photos. I always remember you. And what's uniting us always is this affection for Srila Govinda Maharaj, and I cannot forget you.
Además, tengo el afecto de Srila Janardhan Maharaj, que para mí es Srila Ashram Maharaj, y él son mis padres. Son mis hermanos, son mis tíos, son mis hijos.
She sees all of us. She says Ashram Maharaj is like a father. She sees us like...
And you too. Usted también. En el campamento de Veracruz hace 6 meses, él compró varias pulseras. Alguien que traduce, pero no lo va a querer traducir.
Oh, she says in the festival of Veracruz, about 6 months or a year ago, that I bought all these bracelets for the devotees.
Para regalarle a sus hermanas, a sus amigas, a las devotas, y entonces se acercó a mí.
I bought these threads, like bracelets made out of red threads, because in India they always give to they always give brothers and sisters. They tie some red string bracelet. So this person had these woven bracelets made out of red thread, so I bought those bracelets.
Y se acercó a mí y me dijo, pero tú no usas pulseras, no te la vas a poner.
And I said to Madhuchanda that, but you don't use any bracelets or anything.
Y desde entonces la traigo. Pero eso es que, como Gurudev decía, estamos atados por el afecto, de una u otra manera. Y nos unió a todos.
Yes.
Yeah.
Srila Govindamar says we're all tied to each other by affection. What is that day when they give those bracelets? What? But it's a day when brothers and sisters give each other bracelets.
Hoy estamos celebrando su divino día de la desaparición, pero él no ha desaparecido, no se ha ido, está en el corazón de todos y cada uno de nosotros.
Today we're celebrating Srila Govindamar's disappearance day, but he hasn't really disappeared, and he's still present with all of us through affection.
Desde que Dios amanece, por lo menos para mí, cada sentimiento y cada pensamiento, cada caminar, cada decisión de mi vida, primero le digo a Él qué desea, qué quiere de mí, y entonces lo hago.
Everything I think of and everything I do, I'm always doing what Govindamar has asked me to do, and like that. And I also, in the morning we sang Jayani Lo Prima Donna, but I didn't want to sing it anymore, because Govinda Maharaj told me also that he never referred to Srila Guru Maharaj's Nitya Lila Pravishta Om. He said, I never used that expression because I always considered that he was with me. So I sang in the morning Jayani Lo Prima Donna, but I didn't want to sing it among all the devotees because I thought, I'm always feeling that Srila Govindamars is with me. And that's what Madhuchanda is expressing, that we can talk about today being his disappearance day, but he hasn't disappeared. He's still present.
Gurudev no se ha ido. Gurudev está aquí. Gurudev está hoy aquí, en los corazones de cada uno de nosotros. Nos acompaña siempre y nos va a acompañar siempre.
He's always here and he's present and he's always in the heart of all of us.
En Veracruz tenemos a sus devotos, a sus deidades. Él soñó con eso, fue su deseo y está manifestado en Veracruz. Y tratamos de cumplir todas sus instrucciones cada día.
Yeah. See, in Veracruz, they're feeling that. I want to also say something about Veracruz. It's a temple in Veracruz that a temple that all the devotees made. First, Madhuchanda she got the land donated right in the center of the city, and she got the land. She went to hundreds of neighbors, and they all signed no objection for us getting it. And then the government donated the land. And when Govindamars was there for the inauguration, and at that time the mayor of the city, he came to the inauguration of the temple in Veracruz. It's actually built like an Indian temple, and beautiful deities and everything of Sri Guru
Gauranga Gandharva Govinda Nanda Nandana
Gandharva Sri Nanda Govinda Nanda Nandana. Yeah. And they're beautiful deities. The mayor came to that program, and he was there, and Govindamars was there, and then later the mayor he also became the governor of the state. And he met with Srila Govindamars, and then he won the lottery. Now, I don't know how that happens.
For a second.
Yeah, it's very auspicious. But that Madhuchanda arranged to get that property. I mean, she went begging and getting signatures of everybody so that they would have that property. And Govindamars was there for the inauguration. So, So like and our leaders in Mexico, they're all very very faithful and subservient to Ashram Maharaj, and all the leaders joined by the visiting of Govinda Maharaj to Mexico. When he visited Mexico, all the leaders, and many of the leaders are also like ladies like Madhuchanda and Lakshmi Rani and others, and she's our leader in Veracruz. Lakshmi Rani was a leader in Mexico City, and when Govinda Maharaj was there, they were dancing. They had folklore band playing and marimba with a wooden xylophone, and they were doing Madhuchanda and Lakshmi Rani. They were doing traditional dancing.
Estamos marcados por Gurudev, estamos marcados por él. No podemos más que seguir caminando detrás de él, siempre, siempre, y nunca despegarnos, que nuestro corazón siempre esté unido por ese afecto. Él nos amarró. Ya,
okay. So where is our Nilamani? All right. Well, you're going to do the arti. Okay, good. We'll sing Sri Guru Charana Padma. Is that okay? Sure. Because, okay. Huh?
Better sit so no one falls off the ledge.
Well, I think we can stand us,
Yeah, just stack up the chairs.
You can stand just in front of your chair. Just stand in front of your chair. Do you have carpets? Everyone have something? Down there not, but okay. You can sit.
Making me move.
Krishna prapti hoy jaha hoy te. Krishna prapti hoy jaha hoy te. Guru mukha padma bhaktya shite te koriya kya. Guru mukha padma bhaktya shite te koriya kya. Dharana Korea Manyaja Shri Guru Charane Gati Say Uttama Gati Shri Prasare Pure Sarva Asha Jatudano Dilo Jai Jane Jane Prabhu Se Divya Gyan Ride Prakashito Prema Bhakti Ja Hoite Abhidya Vinasa Jate Prema Bhakti Ja Hoite Abhidya Vinasa Jate Mere Gaya Racharito Mere Gaya Racharito Mere Gaya Racharito Mere Gaya Racharito Shri Guru Karana Sindhu Aramadana Shri Guru Karana Sindhu Aramadana Logana Logera Jivana Logana Logera Jivana Logana Logera Jivana Logana Logera Jivana Prabhu Gurudev Deomani Bharataya Prabhu Gurudev Deomani Bharataya Prabhu Gurudev Deomani Bharataya Prabhu Gurudev Deomani Bharataya Vedana Sindhu Kumana Vedana Sindhu Kumana Vedana Sindhu Chaitanya, Prabhu Parikara Shishi Guru Guranga Gandharvika Giridhari Ju Ki Jai. Jai Srila Bhakti Sangha Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj Samadhi Mandir Ki Jai. Jai Srila Govinda Maharaj Tirobab Mahotsav Ki Jai. Jai, the divine disappearance day of Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Parabhajakacharya Ashtadhara Sadarshi Shrimad Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Parabhajakacharya Ashtadhara Sadarshi Shrimad Srila Bhakti Rakak Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Bhagavan Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Thakur Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Satchidananda Bhakti Vinod Thakur Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Vaishnava Sarvabhauma Srila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai. Rupanuga Guru Bharga Ki Jai. Namachar Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Shri Rupa Sanatana Bhatta Raghunath Shri Jiva Gopal Bhatta Das Raghunath Shad Goswami Prabhu Ki Jai. Premsago Shri Krishna Chaitanya Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Harshivasadi Shri Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Vishvavarinya Srila Bhakti Vedanta Swami Maharaj Prabhupada Ki Jai. Srila Bhakti Nirmal Maharaj Ki Jai. Nandi Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai. Shri Namadeep Dham Ki Jai. Shri Ram Mayapur Ki Jai. Saparshada Shri Nityananda Prabhu Ki Jai. Saparshada Shri Mahaprabhu Ki Jai. Shri Koladvip Ki Jai. Shri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat Ki Jai. Sokel Shri Chaitanya Saraswat Sevashram Ki Jai. Ganga Devi Ki Jai. Tulasi Maharani Ki Jai. Bhakti Devi Ki Jai. Shri Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai. Shri Radha Krishna Gopi Govardhan Sham Kunda Radha Kunda Kalindi Yamuna Ju Ki Jai. Shri Purushottam Ram Ki Jai. Baladev Subhadra Jagannath Ju Ki Jai. Bhakti Vigna Vinashaya Shri Nrsingadev Ki Jai. Bhakti Prabhara Shri Prahlad Maharaj Ki Jai. Samaveda Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Shri Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai. All the assembled devotees Ki Jai. Srila Govinda Maharaj Ki Jai. Srila Govinda Maharaj Ki Jai. Gaur Premananda. Govinda Maharaj Ki Jai. Ashapriya Prabhu Ki Jai. Pushta Krishna Prabhu Ki Jai. Sarva Bhavana Prabhu Ki Jai. Innumerable devotees of Srila Govinda Maharaj Ki Jai. Shri Madhuchanda Devi Dasi Ki Jai.
Hari 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 Bol. Bhakti Kusana Maharaj Ki Jai.